narration, re-narration, re-narration, re-narration as a lawyer here, because look at that Headley versus Faxendale case which we celebrate. If you turn that into a layman's context, it's an absolutely ridiculous judgment. Now, another funda in the law school. We often deal with agreements. We are proud of these agreements. One such agreement is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, something we are all very proud of because the states have come together to keep certain commitments about the carbon emissions. Because of the convention, we have been able to regulate things to a large extent. There is no problem with the convention, absolutely nothing. I'm not even able to critique the convention. But what we need to understand is that United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is an agreement of states, or is it a disagreement of, or is an agreement of disagreeing states? Let me here highlight this by way of a game, and this is a game in economics, in game theory called the Abilene paradox. I don't know whether you have heard about it. There are a lot of popular games like the prisoner's dilemma, the chicken stack, the centipede game. But Abilene paradox is not much used game. So let me tell you the Abilene paradox, and when you use Abilene paradox to assess the efficiency of United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change as an otherwise successful agreement. You know that this is an agreement which even found a reference in Nobel Award Committee for the commendable work they do, even though it was IPCC, not really UNFCCC, but still we know that today we are able to combat climate change because of UNFCCC. Indeed, UNFCCC is doing its job, but is this the way? When you analyze the UNFCCC, should we adopt an innocent lens of dealing with agreements of the states or the disagreements of the states? Let me explain this. As per the Abilene paradox, certain people, 4 people were sitting together and playing dominoes, the card game. So while they were playing dominoes, one of the members suggested that let's go to the Abilene Hills to have lunch today. Let's go to the Abilene Hills to have lunch today. And then immediately his wife thinks, Abilene Hills, it's 20 miles drive from where we are now. It's going to be extremely hot. But if I say no, people would think I'm a killjoy. Since my husband has proposed it, let me agree. And she immediately says, let's go to Abilene Hills, we'll have some fun. And then the person number 3 thinks, Abilene Hills, hot and sultry at this time. Moreover, the lunch I've heard served in Abilene Hills is not one of the most delicious or the sumptuous lunch we can have. Why should we travel all the way to the Abilene Hills to have this horrible lunch? And then the person again, the person gets a caution from inside it. But Mrs. X proposed it. Mr. X agreed to that. Sorry, Mr. X proposed it. Mrs. X agreed to that. If I say no, I might be rude to my host, and people again think I am a killjoy. So he also says, let's go. We'll have some fun in Abilene Hills. The 4th person in the group also thinks that Abilene Hills, first of all, I hate the sultry atmosphere there. Food is horrible. And third day, we have to drive back all the way. All the other things I planned for the day would be spoiled because I have to go to Abilene Hills to have lunch. But again, the same concern. I don't want to be a killjoy because my colleagues have agreed, let me also agree. That person also says yes. They all go to Abilene Hills. And you know the outcome. They had a horrible day. Horrible lunch, horrible weather, a horrible day. What began as a wonderful day playing dominoes turned out to be a horrible day. And then the person who proposed to go to Abilene Hills responds by saying that we should not have come here. I never wanted it, but I thought you people would love it. And then all of you agreed. So the person who proposed to go to the Abilene Hills was never in an